Hello everybody who watches my videos. Today I am going to review the Bad Weapon Rehabilitation mod. This is a mod FishOnAStick runs on his servers. If you want to play with them, you can. I have already reviewed the changes for both Scout and Pyro, and today I am going to review Spy. Now, Spy, in terms of balance, is in a very unique place compared to all the other classes. You see, Spy is, well, he's, how would I best put it? Terrible. Because of this mod has a lot of direct buffs for Spy. First, we have a change for all of the revolvers. Bullet spread is gradually reset over the course of 1 second. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I have no idea what this does. I think what this means is that if you space out your shots more, they'll be more accurate, but as far as I'm aware, that's already a revolver mechanic. Maybe this just improves on that mechanic so it's more effective, I don't really know. But what I do know is that it's blue text on the revolvers, and as a true revolver believer, I am happy to see that. The next change we have is the cloak and decloak time were decreased. I played on this server for quite a while, and you would not believe how much of a difference 0.5 less seconds of decloak time makes. The ability to quickly decloak behind a door and run out was a real godsend. I could feel the improvement. This is probably the biggest buff Spy got, and that's saying a lot, because a lot of these buffs are really weird. And speaking of really weird, the Sapper now has a secondary fire function. If you press the reload button, you and your team get very limited range wall hacks. In order to balance out this ability, the enemies can also see you specifically through walls as well. Now, this is not a very good ability to use solo, because a Spy you can clearly see coming might as well be a doorknob. Okay, I know it was a stupid joke, I just couldn't think of anything else. But the teamwork implications of this are huge. And more importantly, I'm glad Spy doesn't just lose a weapon slot if the enemy team doesn't have an engineer. The next change they added is the Spy speed button. Now, I think we can all agree that this should already be in the game, so I don't really have much to talk about here. Other than, of course, I have no idea what special attack is. And also, toggles are superior to holding buttons every day of the week. Moving forward to our first actual weapon rebalance, we have the Ambassador. The crit damage falloff has been reduced significantly. I have used this weapon quite a bit on the server, and overall, my thoughts on it are, I can't hit headshots. The Enforcer is a weapon I quite literally, periodically, forget is in the game. It is by no means the worst weapon in the game, but it is both uninteresting and worse in basically every scenario. The same cannot be said for the new Enforcer. Boom, 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 boom! Boom, 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 boom! I kid you not when I tell you this, but this new Enforcer might be my favorite weapon in the entire game. Because, you see, I really like playing with my gun. Because I don't know if you know this, but literally every single unlock Spy has prioritizes going for backstabs and nerfs the revolver. So I'm glad there's finally a weapon that promotes being a gun spy. Well, I mean a good one. The changes to this weapon are pretty simple. It now does 40% more damage while disguised, which isn't that much more damage, but it is really good for fighting snipers, engineers, and basically any enemy that has low health. The damage resistance doesn't help too much, but it is also really good for fighting snipers. What I believe keeps this weapon balanced is that you have to use it offensively. If you try to use it defensively after a stab, it's just a worse gun. So you have to prioritize using your gun to actually get use out of it. I really like this weapon. I think it's well balanced, I think it's well designed, and, well, let's just say, if you ever nerf it, a very similar weapon will have a meeting with the roof of my mouth. The next weapon I have to review is the Your Eternal Reward. In the base game, this weapon was by far the worst knife. Disguising consumed a full cloak meter, you'd lose your cloak 33% faster, and all for the upside of going the speed of a heavy after you get a kill. Two of these problems get fixed with this new Your Eternal Reward. One The 33% faster drain rate is just gone. And 2, thanks to Spy Speed, you are no longer forced to run at the speed of the class you just backstabbed. I think this weapon is a lot more fun to use now. It's no longer just a headache. Alright, up next, the next weapon I have to review is the new kunai, and I actually really like the changes to this weapon. I think they... Wait. No, they changed it. I played on this server earlier, and the kunai was my favorite knife. This isn't how it used to work. The old kunai removed the downside of only having like 70 health and replaced it with 33% cloak drain. And you felt that. You had less cloak. I was barely able to stay invisible. I had so many fun times with the old version of this weapon. I got so many kills. I was destroying some of the servers, actually. Wait, am I the reason they had to change the kunai?
I liked it. I was good at it.
If I'm being honest, I don't fully understand the logic behind these changes. Changing a weapon that's constantly complained about snowballing into a weapon that actually snowballs is kind of a weird decision. If you get 3 kills with this weapon, you just have 175 health. You can become every single sniper's worst nightmare if you really wanted to. Up next, we have the changes to the Spy Sickle. Now, in the base game, the Spy Sickle has always been a weapon that's undoubtedly probably better than the base knife, but it's also so lame I don't use it. Overall, I really like the changes to this weapon. It's able to remove more debuffs than just fire, and more importantly, you can actually decide when you want it to mount, with the downside of only being able to get a chain stab of 2, or potentially having to space out your stabs more. Up next, we have the new Dead Ringer. Now, personally, I have always hated this weapon. Now I know what you're thinking. But in the video, you're using the Dead Ringer! You think that I can afford these cosmetics? I don't use my own gameplay in my videos because I can't. For reference, the last time I tried to record my own gameplay, it took me probably 5 minutes to get into a game, and then I got crashed out of the game in 20 seconds. And I tried that 3 times. I do enjoy this new Dead Ringer though. It has a risk-reward mechanic where you get punished much less if you trigger it when you're below 50% health. Because Spy's so squishy, this is often a really big risk to take. Overall, a very solid change that I think improves the fun factor of this weapon a lot. The Cloak and Dagger. The watch you love when you first start playing the game. You just sit there for 5 minutes, slowly trying to make it to the enemy's back line. You'd finally do it, and after 10 more minutes, you'd decloak. At which point, you'd instantly die, because you still suck. The new Cloak and Dagger is actually really cool, I think. No longer are you forced to be your team's security camera. Changing a 33% drain rate to a 20% drain rate might not seem like a lot, but it actually does make a pretty big difference in my opinion. And they also removed the hidden decloak downside that was there for literally no reason, so that's cool. And the weapon we have finishing off the video is the one, the only, the most impactful weapon in the game, the red tape recorder. I should really think about restructuring these videos. The way this new red tape recorder works is after you place it on a sentry, you get a 3-second speed boost.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, this change is definitely very useful, it's just also very strange. The other change is that it now has less sapper health, so it can be taken off with 1 wrench swing. Now me personally, as a spy player, I would have gone the opposite direction. I would have given it more health. This would make it so it remains the worst option for trying to solo take down a sentry, but buffs it for when you're using team play, or you know, when you're trying to 1v1 the engineer. That's cool too. Those were all the changes made to Spy in this mod. If you're a Spy player, I really recommend playing on this mod. He feels so great in this mod, it's like you're taking off a lot of weights that are holding you down. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, like the video, and do the third thing. You know the third thing YouTubers talk about? I think it involves a bell or something. Anyways, do that one too.